Alright, welcome back to the channel. Max Tornow here. In this video I want to talk about how I created a program that literally helps people become free. I'm talking about freedom business mentoring here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm kind of showing you a little bit my story of how I built my very first multiple seven-figure a year business, how that led to helping me create freedom business mentoring, which is what we're teaching now to our beginner clients. And then it kind of relates to you in a sense that you can take these concepts and replicate those for yourself. So if you like the idea of becoming your own boss, of living the freedom lifestyle, if you like the idea of becoming financially secure, more financially stable, then pay attention, because this video is for you. We're here in our little office for the day, this little park. This is what I do nowadays. As I'm getting older, I just turned 30 in June. As I'm getting older, I'm taking more walks through parks, and I'm literally working from my phone. That's really mostly what I do. So if you like the idea for yourself, then this video is for you. Let's get started.
Have you ever wondered whether there's more to life than a boring dead-end 9-to-5 job? Have you ever dreamed about breaking free, traveling the world, making good money, and just enjoying life? No more office dress code, no morning commute, no boss. This channel is for you, so here's to your freedom.
All right, so the first thing I kind of want to talk about here is how I got started with my very first business. Depends on how well you know my story, but this business that I have right now, the online business consulting, is not my first business. In fact, I made multiple seven figures a year with my very first business, which was an online coaching business for dating advice and relationship advice. Some personal development was in there as well. And what I've done with this was I started from scratch, okay? I had, this is something most people don't even know. I was about to become a teacher for Latin and English. I was studying at the University of Vienna, and I kind of felt this was not something for me. I want to break out of that. I want to do my own thing. I like the idea of helping people, and I've kind of taught myself how to get out of my shell, and I wanted to help other men do the same. So I built my very first business, and most people knew me from when I became more, public with all that. Most people knew me from my YouTube channel and so on and so forth, but what most people don't know is in the very beginning, it was just me. And how I got my very first clients, my very first 4-figure months, was actually by something that we call direct outreach. Right? Direct outreach, or manual lead generation. And that was literally me. I was sitting at home, I was still studying on the side, and I would literally just go on like forums and Facebook groups to talk to people that I could potentially help, to talk to guys that would need help getting out of their shell, they would need help with their dating life. And I would literally just direct outreach to them, message them, and I would get them on a call. Well, at first I tried to message just the messaging and try to convince them over the DMing that they would book a coaching with me. Later on, I realized it's much better if I get them on a call, and that is how I started making my first 4 figures. And the great thing about that is that I had no brand before that. I was not known. Right? I didn't have a YouTube channel or anything like that. I clearly didn't have any money to invest in Facebook ads or anything like that. And I wasn't known either. It was literally just me picking the most direct way from me, who has the offer of coaching, to the potential client via a forum or via groups on the internet. And that was it. It was a very direct way, and that is how I built my very first 4 figures. And interestingly enough, fast forward to now, Freedom Business Mentoring, our beginner program, that's exactly the first steps that we're teaching our clients as well, right? So when someone comes to us, they're very likely to not have a YouTube brand existing. They're very likely just to be average Joes. Most of them have a job and they want to transition to building their own business. It's exactly what we teach them. We teach them the exact same things that I have learned from my very first business on how I get to my first 4 figures, which is direct outreach. We teach these people how to position themselves properly, how to craft an offer that people are interested in, and then we obviously teach them exactly how to reach out to people, where to reach people that are in your target audience, where to reach people with buying power, what to message, what to say on the phone call to get them excited about becoming your first client. That's literally how I've done it myself, and then we're copying this process that has now been proven to work with hundreds of clients that we've worked with to get our clients to the first 4 to sometimes even 5 figures a month. This is literally the simplest process that can get you to your first $10,000 a month. We have clients who are making over $20,000 a month only with that. No website, no brand, nothing. After that, we help them scale. Okay, after that, once we bring our clients to the first 10 to 20K a month, we help them scale up to $50,000 to $100,000 a month, which is some of our advanced clients who are already there, which is very great. But you got to understand, so my very first money that I made was literally just by direct outreach via certain online groups. Very good. You don't need to have a big brand. That's how I did it, and that's what we're teaching our beginner clients as well. Okay, so the question that presents itself here now is, how did I go from my first 4 figures to scaling my very first business? Well, the answer was I started leveraging the power of social media. And that's exactly what we're doing with our advanced program. Now again, bear in mind, you can easily make 10 to 20K a month already without social media. But then you leverage the power of social media. Social media is like a leverager, like a multiplier. You put that in place then, and all of a sudden you can scale your business, and that's exactly what I did as well. At that time, I started working with mentors, really great mentors, and I learned a lot about brand building, about leadership, about building some sort of connection, some sort of tribe almost to the people on your social media. And that then helped me to crack my first 5 and 6 figures a month, which was very interesting because fast forward a couple years through that journey, I started making my very first 7 figures a year, and then my very first multiple 7 figures a year. And then I got to a level where I had soaked up so much from my mentors that I started surpassing them, and I could start giving back to them. I guess that was mainly due to my relatively young age, and I just never took a day off. I was just very driven, and I was able to then, get to a position where I could kind of soak up knowledge that was kind of beyond that. And then I started giving back to my mentors because they've been absolutely, they've absolutely changed my life. And I always felt like I should be extremely grateful for them. And I always wanted to give back to them. So transitioning from that very first online coaching business where I help people with dating advice to the business consulting where we help people build their own freedom businesses literally from scratch, to kind of replicate my story. It was very interesting how that happened. But before we're going to get into that, I want to give a big shout out to my podcast, which I highly recommend you check out. If you feel like the YouTube videos are a little bit too much surface level, you want to dive a little deeper, I strongly recommend you checking out our podcast. My partner Nikita Gunkiewicz and me, we're talking very deep about how to get started, how to make your first 10K. It's a little bit more step-by-step instructions in that podcast. People said it's very informative and also very entertaining. So I can very strongly recommend you checking out the podcast. We're going to put it down in the description below. The link is maxtornow.com/podcast, or otherwise, again, link down in the description below. So what happened was people started literally getting on board with my dating programs to ask me business questions. This was very interesting transition phase. I remember specifically certain individuals booking a one-on-one coaching with me, and I would ask them, what's your goals with the dating? What's your dream relationship look like? And they would say oh, thank you, I'm married for 10 years, very happily. But how did you build your business? And that kind of helped me transition. I always had it in my mind to start teaching business because over the last couple of years while I was starting to make all this money and scaling, it kind of became a new passion of mine. It became something I was very interested in. And then seeing that more and more people were interested in that, in how they could replicate that same path, it kind of gave me the confidence to slowly but steadily pivot over to that. And, at some point, it was 2018, we made it official. Before that, I had already helped a lot of people build their own businesses from scratch. A couple of people I also helped scaling to their first 7 figures. And then we made it official with Freedom Business Mentoring. And that's exactly what we're doing in Freedom Business Mentoring. We create the path that I walked with my very first business, making it very lean to get to your first 10 to 20K a month without needing a big brand, without needing to be known. Then later on building the big, the multiplying factor with the social media, scaling to 6 figures a month. And it's a very beautiful thing to do, to kind of see it doesn't only work for me, right? You see me traveling around, you see me enjoying this wonderful place as an office. You see all the client testimonials that we're posting. So you see it works for me, you see it works for my clients, and therefore you can, the end result that you can understand from that is that it's replicable, right? Now, it's not a magic pill. Don't get me wrong. You still have to execute. You still have to overcome your ego, and there's still going to be mistakes that you're bound to make. Ideally, if you work together with us, we'll give you feedback so you can, flatten out these mistakes right away. You can adjust them and you can continue. But it's not a magic pill, and obviously you have to work hard on that. But most importantly, there's a proven path that I've walked, that hundreds of people before you have walked very successfully, and it works. All you got to do, swallow your pride, get rid of your ego, and execute. And that's a beautiful thing, right? And one of the things that I've always understood, even with my very first business, is a business sells the best when the clients are happy. And you might have heard me saying this before, money follows value, right? That's the first rule of money. Money follows value. The more valuable your programs are, your mentorships, your mentoring programs are, the more excited your clients become. And it's not only because of the karma or anything, but if you look at it from a purely practical standpoint, it's exactly the same. When you have happy clients, what do they want to do? Well, they want to buy from you again, right? They don't just want to buy once and then fly off into the ether. You're free now, fly away. No, they want to continue working with you. So you actually get this, what we call lifetime value from your clients. Most importantly, your clients will give you referrals, right? They say, hey, you know, Max, your program is so good. I love it. I was able to quit my job. Maybe you could help my friend here as well. And then therefore, the business starts growing more and more, literally just from word of mouth. And on top of that, you later on employ the power of social media, and you employ the power of paid advertising and so on and so forth. It has this compound effect. It multiplies itself, which is very, very great. And that's something that I've always liked, especially with the way we've built Freedom Business Mentoring, is that it's not like an info product that most people are trying to sell. Like, here's a video course. No, you'll actually be working together with us. You'll be literally in daily contact with us. We can answer all your questions. We hold you accountable. You can jump on calls with us and so on and so forth. And it's very interesting because what we also do on top of that is we always make sure that our programs are up to date. You might have heard me saying this before, but we're literally updating our program every single week. There's new content that we add to that, new things that we teach in our live calls. There's things we adjust because they might not be up to date anymore. And that's a beautiful thing, because especially in the fast moving world of online business, you always want to be, you know, at the pulse of time. You always want to make sure that you're extremely fast with your adjustments. Right? And obviously, again, since you're client focused, you make sure that your clients are happy. And in all honesty, when you're our client and you win, we win also, right? The freer you become, the more likely you will be to stay with us, the more likely you will be to give us referrals. So it's only in our best interest to make you as happy as humanly possible. All right, so that's in terms of a client focus, which is a very beautiful thing. And obviously also what we do is we always try to customize the solutions. So we're not just like, here's the program, good luck, but because you're in daily contact with us, we always customize the solutions that we give to you, which is also why we always say book a free consulting call with us, where you'll be speaking to a real person, right? If you want to get started with your own freedom business, you want to get started from scratch, you have a couple of questions, you book a free consulting call with us, you'll be talking to a real person, not an automated bot funnel or anything like that, not like a copy that you're going to read, like a copywriting or something like that. You literally be talking to a real person, because we're customer-centered, client-centered, right? And the last kind of lesson that I want to give you here as we're wrapping up this video is a lesson of authenticity. When you feel like, hey, all this sounds great, Max, I do want to become free via my own online coaching, online service providing business, but I'm not 100% sure if I'm good enough, I'm not 100% sure if I'm an expert enough, and so on and so forth. We always say, look, the best marketing, even in the beginning stages, is authenticity. Be honest with what you're doing, be honest with the level of expertise you have, and be transparent with that. And this is something I hope you can kind of feel in my content as well. Like, could I make more money by not having finger and hand tattoos? Yes, absolutely. But I didn't want to. I wanted to be authentic. I wanted to be myself. Could I make more money by cutting back on the swearing? Yes, of course. But if I want to swear, I just swear. We just beep it out. Could I make more money by dressing differently, dressing in a suit maybe? Of course I could, but that would not be authentic. And a big reason why most people like what I'm putting out, at least the people that do like it, they like it because it's authentic, because they can resonate with that. So I'm not perfect. Neither are you. And neither should you feel that you need to be perfect in order to get started, right? You are you, be authentic, and it's totally fine if you're not a 10 out of 10 expert in something yet, as long as you're ahead 2 to 3 steps of the average person. Okay, so again, I want to repeat that. As long as you're ahead 2 to 3 steps of the average person, then you're already good to go. You can already get started. Now, does that mean you should stay there? No. You should always grow alongside with your clients and get better at it. But if you have a skill or a challenge that you've overcome yourself and you're 2 to 3 steps ahead of the average person, that is already a great foundation for you to get started. So when you like the idea of becoming free, you want to become your own boss, you want to get started from scratch, then like I said, I invite you to book a free consulting call with us. There's a link down in the description below. Link brings you to a page. You can read some more information from that page, and at the bottom of that page there's an application form. You fill it out, takes you 2 minutes to fill it out, and then you can book the exact date and time where you want us to call you. Now, you do have to fill out that application because we're quite picky. You know, sometimes people actually offer us a large sum of money, but we don't like what they write in the application and we still decline them. But, you know, go ahead, fill out the application. If you're a good fit, you get to join a free consulting call with us. And then on that call, we can literally talk about your exact situation. Like I said, client-centric, always try to customize it as much as possible. We'll look at your situation, we'll look at your goals, and we'll help you bridge that gap from where you are right now to where you want to be going. We'll tell you the exact steps that you can take in order to get started on that free consulting call. If you then want to become our client and you want to work together with us over a long term so we can help you implement these steps, you can always do that. We can discuss that on that free consulting call. Like I said, you'll be talking to a real person, not an automated bot funnel or anything like that, right? That also means since we're human beings, we can only do so many calls a day. So if the link still works and it brings you through to the application at the bottom, it means we still have a spot open for you. So ultimately, I'm very grateful to be able to do all this. I'm very grateful that I didn't only do this with one business, but I built a second business that is even more successful than the first one. I don't take any of this for granted. You know, I'm showing a lot of cool stuff here on this channel as well, and I want you to understand it's not just the cool stuff, it's also the hard work you're putting in and the great mentors that you should always get, and you know, people that believe in you, people that have been where you want to go. I'm extremely grateful that I've always had that, and I'm extremely grateful that I always have the work ethic, and I'm also grateful that I'm able to enjoy these moments that are the fruit of my labor, which is just very, very fantastic. And I want to thank you for, if you're still watching this, I want to thank you for being part of my life, and I hope that you let me be a part of your life, even if it's just a little bit, so I can give that back to you. All right, so thank you very much for watching. I appreciate that. Talk soon on the free consulting call, and bye-bye.
I'm really pleased. This is my testimonial for my first 2 closes I got since doing the market research. They were both £1,000. I do online fitness coaching, so quite a popular niche, and something that was a bit of a struggle for me because I didn't know exactly who I should target, and going through the program it definitely was my biggest struggle, trying to find my target audience. But with the help of the coaches, every single mess up that I made along the way I was able to fix, and now looking back on it, it's really quite simple.